Sarah, welcome to Grace in My Space. Today I have a fun full room makeover in store for you. I'm going to take you from start to finish on a budget bathroom remodel that is more of a makeover than a remodel. Now this bathroom has quite a few challenges. Number one, I am on a very strict budget, self-imposed. I just don't want to spend very much money on this. Number two, the bathroom is windowless. Zero natural light creates a lot of challenges in design because you have to think about how that plays into the patterns you choose, the colors you choose, what they're going to look like in the dark versus the light bulbs that you choose and how those colors all play together. And number three, it is extremely tiny, which is going to be really difficult for me to film for you, but we're going to make it work. Now I'm going to walk you through the entire makeover from start to finish, all the DIYs that I did, completely DIY, on a budget. But I'm going to do it in kind of a clipped fashion so that I can get through the whole process because this was not a quick makeover. Should it have been? Yes. It's not hard, nothing was too difficult. I just couldn't get the design to come together in my mind until I found that one special piece, which sometimes is all it takes to actually formulate the design that you need. So here is a month worth of work in a 15-minute video. Welcome to our basement bathroom. When we moved in, this bathroom had blue tile floors and the entire walls were painted poop brown. So in the meantime, I just did a little bit of paint. We did replace the flooring in the basement, and that's all I have done. And now I am ready to modernize this space with some simple tips that can be done on a budget, really in any style home. Since I'm working on a budget, I'm going to start by DIYing a vanity update. Now this tool is a little teeny sanding block, and it is perfect for cabinets. Gets right in there into a space where a big sander wouldn't be able to fit, or it would be difficult to hold anything else without this little gripper. Now, the purpose of sanding this was not to get it to raw wood. It was to remove the shiny gloss finish that was on here from the prior poly and give my next step something to adhere to so that it didn't just, slide off of that slick surface. All right, my friends, DIY fail. That's all right. I kind of knew that it was a risk to do my method. I wanted to take the orange oak and make it darker, but this vanity is super cheap and the wood just didn't hold up to the sanding to get it down enough that the gel stain could adhere properly, and this is what it looks like. So that's a no-go. So we're moving on to plan B, and that includes now priming to not only cover the wood so the tannins don't bleed through, but also because now I've added this gel stain, I can sand it back off, but I still want to use an oil-based primer so that that sticks and it gives my paint the right surface to adhere to. You can check out in the caption below, I have a very detailed blog post on how to paint cabinetry, and it's fully detailed. Check it out. I'm gonna get to painting. Since I couldn't keep the wood tone, I wanted to kind of mimic it a little bit in the paint color with like a brownish black. So I'm doing black mocha from Bear, and I haven't sampled it, which is definitely not how I would normally recommend to do this, but it's an hour round trip to the paint store, and so I was there. I didn't want to come home, sample it, and have to go back. Hopefully it's what I want. It's like a really pretty color, so I think, the hope is that it'll be okay. It's a bit of a battle to get to this point, but I love the color. I do love the color. That's not at all the color. I'm gonna get the color for you so you can actually see what it looks like, because that is not it. Now that wallpaper looks so good with the color. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to just put it up here on this back wall, because if I were to bring it all the way over, you see how this overhang doesn't line up with the shower stall? There would be no good stopping point for the wallpaper on that wall. I don't want to bring it into the shower. Wallpaper and water would not mix well being that close together. So I'm just gonna put the wallpaper over on this side, and then I'm gonna do a wall treatment down on the lower half. But I'm really excited about how well those colors work together. It's gonna make it so pretty in here. Let's install some wallpaper. Look at how pretty this paper is. I just need to decide how low to take it to the ground, because I'm doing a wall treatment on the bottom half. Here we go. Now, if you're new to my channel, you may have missed, I do have an entire video dedicated to how to install peel and stick wallpaper specifically. I also did a pasted wallpaper tutorial as well, but I will link those for you because there are a lot of detailed steps that you can follow. Camera's yelling at me to use the flash because it's so dark in here. I'm sorry, there's not enough room for work lights. We worked around the light fixture and it's the last piece. Get that cut and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. Now I have this existing trim and I don't want to take it off. So since I have shiplap, I would not want that kind of an overhang on my trim. It would just look a little silly. So we're gonna add this piece of molding upside down from what it normally should be and give it a good 3/4 inch for that shiplap to sit on top, and then the molding will look correct. I'm gonna crawl inside the shower now so that I can show you this and not be in the way of the camera. Just a minute. The things I do to film projects in tight spaces. All right, we're gonna line it up. Now this will all get caulked and painted and look seamless, but now we have the same profile down here, and the shiplap will sit right on top of that ledge. This should be the easiest part. I made sure to install my PVC trim piece level, and then we're just gonna nail them on up there. That doesn't sound good. That's not good. Now I want to bring the shiplap all the way across the sink, which obviously means I have to remove these tiles. And they gave me a run for my money, which I really didn't expect anything different. Two whole tiles at once. That's the first tiny little victory I've had. There we have it. Wasn't really expecting to be able to get them off without patching that drywall, but here we go. To the store I head. The rest of the shiplap installation went pretty seamlessly. I do have an entire tutorial on my blog as well that I will link up for you in the description if you would like a written tutorial on how to install shiplap and the tools needed for the process. Shiplap is in. So much caulking needs to happen, and I gotta get that top rail on. Finally feel like I'm making progress in this. Once you get to the point of completing the actual woodworking portion of shiplap, there is usually a lot of finish work that needs to go into place to make it look good. If you're an extremely skilled carpenter, this won't matter as much, but for all of us DIYers out there, using tape on either side of your caulk lines is going to give you the best finish because all that excess goes right onto the tape that you just peel right off. And then it will give you a good, nice finish so that you can just paint over everything and make it look seamless. Now I searched for artwork that would complement the wallpaper but not be too loud and busy and couldn't find any, so I just kind of made my own. And then I got to all of the finishing touches, which is my favorite part. I really don't love the DIY part. I love the finished result. And so putting together all the little extra decorations, a candle, seeing my knobs on the cabinet finally, adding the faucet, updating the light fixture, installing the mirror, actually seeing the room complete, that is where it makes it all worth it. And now the bathroom is complete, and I want to show you a few specific things that I did in this space. Since it is windowless, there is no natural light, as you can see. It's also very tiny, to make the space feel brighter and larger than it actually is. First of all, I installed the shiplap halfway up the wall plus a few inches, and doing it vertically really helps draw your eye up to make the room feel taller. And then adding a bold pattern on one wall keeps the space interesting since it's so small and you don't really have a lot of room to work with decor or with any kind of artwork. So the space isn't boring just because it's small. And then adding finishing touches like rich metals, some marble in the knobs, a beautiful light fixture, a mirror that kind of blends into the wall behind it are all additional ways that you can kind of glam up the space without it feeling overwhelming. This allows your decor to be super sparing, minimalistic, and really just focused on the function of the bathroom. Keeping the walls mostly lighter colors also helps a lot so that the space doesn't feel too dark. But don't be afraid of using dark colors in a small space. As you can see with the wallpaper, it's very dark, the vanity is dark, and it still works really well when paired with light accents. This video has been a huge challenge to film for you because there's no natural light, and if I turn on this light, it always looks yellow because the cover has a really soft, warm tone to it, and if I turn on that light, then everything's super blown out. So my apologies for the lighting in this video, as I have just tried to overcome my best as possible with a limited resource. With the lights off, you can see the actual pretty true colors of what the wallpaper looks like. A very bright white on the bottom shiplap and a creamy tone on the top, which really pulls together the cream sink and the cream toilet and the cream shower stall, which were not a part of the budget to replace. And so I'm trying to draw those in by adding cream in another area that's a bigger focal point. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this little transformation. Very budget friendly, can be quick, though it took me quite a while to do because I just kind of chugged away at it. I wasn't super full bore on this project like I normally am. And so it did take a little bit longer to come together, but could easily be done in a reasonable time frame. I would love to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. What is your favorite room remodel that you've done in your home? And what was that one piece that kind of set the tone for your design? Maybe it's wallpaper, maybe it's a color, maybe it's a specific pattern, maybe it's a style, a design style, or a period time frame that you're kind of going for. Drop it in the comments and then read through the comments, and I bet you'll be inspired by what other people have done. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you next week.